Week 2 of the fantasy football season. Pretty brutal. Are you looking for some help out on the waiver wire? Well, I'm your guy. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lateral Show. Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go.
Welcome back to another edition of the Lateral Show, a sideways look at fantasy football on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. If you're watching the video, go ahead, click that like button, hit subscribe. It would mean a ton. We are here to discuss the 2022 Fantasy Football Week 3 Waiver Wire and preview some of what's going to be in my article on fantasy6pack.net. If you do not follow me on Twitter already, you can find me, Herms, on Twitter at HermsNFL. And if you want to have the full access to everything that I put in my waiver wire column, you have to sign up for an all-access membership on the Fantasy Six Pack website. Go to fantasy6pack.net/plans. All access. I'm talking the Discord community, or I'm talking the DFS tools. I'm talking award-winning rankings here, folks. I'm not just talking about my column. I'm talking about a plethora of resources that you can have at your disposal to win your fantasy leagues. Keep that in mind. We would love to have you sign up. But if you're not really looking to do that at this current moment, I'll give you a little bit of help. I'm going to preview what I have written for my Week 3 waiver wire article for the 2022 season. Not a great week for running backs, not even just the guys out on the waiver wire, but even some of your studs, I mean, outside of Nick Chubb, I can't really think of a lot of other, premium guys that we took at the beginning of our drafts that performed remarkably well at this moment. So either way, I bring that up just to mention there's not a lot on the running back front that I have to say. But Jamaal Williams of the Detroit Lions, I'll tell you what, he didn't find the end zone this past week as he did in week 1 twice, but the identical work share that he and DeAndre Swift are working with, pretty interesting, okay? That's a guy that clearly shows, hey, if anything happens to the starter in front of me, I've got an insane amount of upside. Or even if nothing happens to DeAndre Swift, Jamaal Williams is on the field a ton. He gets a ton of work. So, I don't get why you wouldn't have a guy that worst case scenario is just a bye week injury fill-in, or best case scenario is possibly a league-winning handcuff. Jamaal Williams, he has to be on your team. Keeping it in the running back realm of things, remember last week when we talked about the San Francisco backfield, about how Elijah Mitchell's injury opened up some opportunity for some interesting guys? We got a little bit more of that. Tyrion Davis-Price, unfortunately, going to be out for a few weeks with an injury of his own. Now, you're a little late to the party if you didn't get the whole Jeff Wilson thing. He ran the ball remarkably well against the Seattle Seahawks. Your opportunity is pretty much gone for that one. But Jordan Mason, remember, I talked about this. There is a quote in the article that I, again, reference as I did a week ago in this one. Kyle Shanahan kept Jordan Mason on this Niners roster and let Trey Sermon go because they were worried that Jordan Mason was going to get scooped up by another team. There is even fewer things standing in his way now. Now without Elijah Mitchell, now without Tyrion Davis-Price, this Niners backfield is becoming very, very clear. There are going to be some people who point out, Marlon Mack's on the practice squad. Yeah, okay. Deeper leagues, sure, take your chance on that. I'd rather focus my attention on Jordan Mason. That's really where I'm looking at for running backs. It's really just Wilson and Mason that I have to talk about this week. Sorry, folks, that's really all I got. But the receivers, let me tell you what, that's where things get interesting. I noticed that for some reason on Yahoo, nobody rosters Garrett Wilson. I'm serious, folks. His ESPN roster percentage is somewhere around 70%. But when I was looking through and typing this up, Garrett Wilson's less than 25% on Yahoo. What's wrong with you people? He is tied for 9th in the NFL in targets so far this season. And he just put up a 30-point game against the Cleveland Browns. He was the first receiver taken in the NFL draft. I mean, like, what more do you need to know? And look, I understand. Well, what's it going to be like when Zach Wilson comes back and plays quarterback? Well, I get that it'll be an adjustment, but I don't really see a quarterback change necessarily altering the game plan of the offense, particularly with a guy that you spent really high first-round capital on. No matter who plays quarterback, I don't see the Jets going away from Garrett Wilson. So, yeah, this probably isn't helpful for a lot of people, but if you're in Yahoo leagues, please just pick up Garrett Wilson. It's ridiculous that he even had that rostership percentage. But we can move on very quickly to a call that I feel pretty good about. Not going to lie, Greg Dortch out in Arizona. We got reports that Rondell Moore is having some problems recovering from his hamstring injury. And I said in my week 2 waiver stash column on Sunday, as long as Rondell Moore is out, Greg Dortch is receiving a lot of opportunity. And though he didn't receive as many targets in week 2 as he did in week 1, homeboy found the end zone, okay? He's out here doing the damn thing, and I couldn't be more proud of him. It makes me feel so good inside. Just, you go, Greg Dortch. You grow. Make sure you pick him up, okay? I tried to tell you, don't be a sucker and pick up on this too late. His route participation kind of neck and neck somewhat with A.J. Green to be the wide receiver 2 in the Cardinals offense, but to date, he's winning that. He's winning that battle against A.J. Green, so Greg Dortch, that's your guy that you have to go out there and make sure that you pick up. Now on to the quarterbacks. I hate to say this because look, you see the flag behind me. I'm a Marylander. I'm from around the DC area of the country. I have watched the Washington Commanders break hearts over and over again, but I can't fight the feeling that maybe this offense is pretty good. Okay, trusting Carson Wentz, not something fantasy managers are accustomed to really doing, but man, the guy's on fire. The first half of the game against the Detroit Lions was a little rough, but so far, Wentz enters week 3 as the QB4 in fantasy. Okay, he just does. As long as that offense is firing on all cylinders, and Wentz continues to feed Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel, both of whom are top 15 receivers in PPR overall, and Terry McLaurin and the whole thing, as long as that keeps going, I don't know, man, keep going. Plus, week 3 is a revenge opportunity against the Philadelphia Eagles, which is always fun. And the next few games after that, mind you, Dallas Cowboys, Tennessee Titans, Chicago Bears. We have a pretty good slate of games coming up for Carson Wentz pretty soon. I don't know, man. It goes against my better judgment to trust somebody on the Washington Commanders, but as long as it's rolling, you better keep going. And also, if you just missed out on the Wentz thing or you just feel really uncomfortable about trusting him, I mentioned if you were going to look a week ahead to stash Marcus Mariota on your bench, because, look, obviously no reason to start him against the defending Super Bowl champion Rams. And if you did, outside of a Superflex league, I don't really know what to tell you, but dude, the Seattle Seahawks are bad. Okay. That defense is horrible. That's who Marcus Mariota and the Falcons go up against in week 3. So if you're just looking for a desperate move, that's perfectly fine. I don't know. You could do a lot worse than picking up Marcus Mariota. I have a whole bunch more that I have to talk about in this article, but unfortunately you have to find that behind the paywall. And in order to get behind the paywall, you have to go to fantasysixpack.net/plans to get the all access to our Discord community, to our DFS tools, to our award-winning rankings, and the remainder of everything your boy Herms has to say about the week 3 waiver wire. Hope that preview was pretty cool. Like I said at the beginning, if you don't follow me on Twitter already, please do so at Herms NFL. And if you're watching this video right now on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. That would be super awesome. That'll do it for this one. But until the next time, I don't know. Just do the thing. Fantasy football. Woohoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lateral Show. Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go.